At a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, the Village of Fredonia duly called and held on the 8th day of August, 2011 at 8:03 p.m. in the Trustees Room, second floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at the meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees regular meeting of July 25th, 2011. Now therefore be resolved, the board approves the minutes as entered in the official minutes, and be it further resolved, the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moved. Reports.
Yes, we have the police department report for the month of July. Total number of incidents for the month were 740, 46 arrests, 21 vehicle and traffic, and 27 parking tickets. The second report is the fire department report for the month of July. They had a grand total of 143 calls, of which 106 were rescue and EMS, 14 were false alarms, 9 good intent calls, 6 service calls, and 3 hazardous conditions, but no fires.
And correspondence.
Several correspondence. Correspondence was received from the Festivals Fredonia requesting permission to use the gazebo in Barker Commons for the annual Red, White, and Blues Festival and the AM Vets 9/11 Remembrance Bike Run to be held September 9th and 10th of 2011.
Be resolved, the request from Festivals Fredonia to use the gazebo in Barker Commons Saturday, September 10th, 2011 for the annual Red, White, and Blues Festival and AM Vets 9/11 Remembrance Bike Run is hereby approved as set forth below. A, use Barker Commons, both sides of the gazebo from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to bag parking meters of designated no parking around the entire perimeter of the both parks, and musician vendors will use the space for loading and unloading. To close Church Street from Temple Street to Park Place. Additional trash receptacles on gazebo side of Barker Commons, plus additional receptacles outside taverns on Water Street, Main Streets. These will also act as boundaries for plastic containers of alcohol outside the establishments, as done in previous years, until 11 p.m. on Friday, September 9th, 2011, and Saturday, 2010. Additional picnic tables will be placed at West Barker Commons for Taste of Fredonia. Water Street be blocked off from Canterbury to Main on Saturday, September 10th, 2011, from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. for bike run registration and departure. Close Park Place for Church to Main from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., which will designate motorcycle parking. Be it further resolved, the event be subject to the village receiving a certificate of insurance in the amount of $1 million, naming the village as an additional insured and subject to the direction of the police department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
A notice of petition and petitioner was received from the Dunkirk and Fredonia Telephone Company regarding their assessment for their properties located at 30 to 34, 38 to 40, and 44 Temple Street, 35 Center Street, and 20 Barker Street in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of the notice and petition from Dunkirk and Fredonia Telephone Company against the Board of Assessment Review for the town of Pomfret, the assessor of the town of Pomfret, and the town of Pomfret for a review of the assessment of a certain real property at 30, 34, 38-40, and 44 Temple Street, 35 Center Street, and 20 Barker Street in the Village of Fredonia in the 2011 tax year. Now therefore be it resolved that said notice of petition and petition be forwarded to the town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interest of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
A notice of petition and petition was received from Antonoli Ruslanov for a tax exemption for his property located on 289 Chestnut Street in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of notice petition and a petition from Anatoly D. Ruslanov, against the Board of Assessment Review for the town of Pomfret, the assessor of the town of Pomfret, and the town of Pomfret for a tax exemption of certain real property at 289 Chestnut Street in the Village of Fredonia for the 2011 tax year. Now therefore be resolved that the said notice petition and petition for forward be forwarded to the Town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interests of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moved.
A demand for payment and stipulation of settlement and order was received from Fredonia Development Company, LLC, for a refund on taxes paid for 2009, 2010, and 2010-11 tax rolls for property located at 50 Howard Street in the Village of Fredonia.
Whereas the village clerk has received a copy of demand payment and stipulation of settlement and order from the Fredonia Development Company, LLC, against the Board of Assessment Review to the Town of Pomfret, the assessor of the Town of Pomfret, and the Town of Pomfret for refund on taxes paid for 2009, 2010, and 2010, 2011 tax rolls for property located at 50 Howard Street in the Village of Fredonia. Now therefore be resolved the demand for refund and stipulation of settlement in order be forwarded to the Town of Pomfret, the assessing authority for the Village of Fredonia, requesting them to protect the interests of the Village of Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the J.S. Lambert Hook and Ladder Company to add the name of Chris Green to the active rolls.
Be it resolved that the name of Chris Green, 94 Place Fredonia, is hereby added to the active roll of the J.S. Lambert Hook and Ladder Company effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the M.M. Fenner Hose Company to add the name of Scott Pierce to the active roll.
Be resolved that the name of Scott Pierce, Webster Road, Fredonia, is hereby added to the active roll of MM Fenner Hose Company effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
Correspondence was received from Mayor Richard Fry, Mayor of the City of Dunkirk, thanking the village trustees for their generous donation toward this year's 4th of July fireworks display. The next correspondence was received from the Parks and Recreation leader, Jack Schwartz, on behalf of the Fredonia Pomfret Park and Recreation Committee to appoint Roger L. Pecos to the Fredonia Pomfret Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term.
Be it resolved that upon a recommendation of the Fredonia Pomfret Parks and Recreation Committee, Roger L. Pecos, Fredonia, is hereby appointed as a member of the Fredonia Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term effective immediately.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Moved. Okay, now comes the time for public portion. If anybody would like to address the board tonight? Okay, seeing no one. Resolutions.
Be resolved that the Board of Trustees workshop session scheduled for August 15th, 2011 is hereby canceled.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moved.
Be it resolved that the training request of Robert L. Lancaster, Chief Operator of the Water Filtration Plant, to attend the Edwin C. Tiff Jr. Water Supply Symposium in Syracuse, New York, September 21st to the 22nd, 2011, is hereby approved at a cost not to exceed $494.50. This conference is sponsored by the New York Section American Water Works Association. Will give Mr. Lancaster required hours of training.
I'd like to second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
Be it resolved that the training requests of Anthony Faso, Julius Leon, Marcus Ford, Miranda Ford, Leonard Wozniacki, Larry Barter, David Sinclair, Gary Sutter, John Lamfer, and Kurt Madem to travel out of the county for village business to attend the 16th Annual Chautauqua County Weekend New York State Fire Academy at Montour Falls, September 9th through 11th, 2011, sponsored by Chautauqua County Fire Chiefs Association, and hereby approved at a total cost not to exceed $720.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moved.
Be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign a waiver on the 30-day liquor license notice for Bliss Incorporated doing business as Muldoon's, 26 Water Street, Fredonia.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moved.
Be it resolved that for the recommendation of the Fredonia Pomfret Parks and Recreation Commission, the village retain Glen Acres Fencing to install a new fence, overhang, and plastic rail cover on the backstop at the Russell Joy Park baseball field at a cost not to exceed $12,728.78.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moved.
Whereas the Fredonia Pomfret Recreation Commission has recommended the purchase of certain playground equipment for use at Russell Joy Park as set forth below, and whereas the estate of Milton Lapine bequeathed $30,000 to the Village of Fredonia to be used for recreation for the youth of the village, and whereas the money to purchase the playground equipment will be paid from the money the village has received from the Milton Lapine bequest and not village tax dollars, now therefore be it resolved that the village purchase from Game Time of Spring Lake, New Jersey, a model 11777 playground, which is a complete playground set to be placed at the Hamlet Street Pavilion, and an Eagle Perch climber to be installed at the current playground at Russell Joy Park, all at a total cost of $28,650.89, and be it further resolved that Mrs. Joan Glenzer of Fredonia, the executrix of the estate of Milton Lapine, be notified of this resolution, and that the Board of Trustees and the village is carrying out Mr. Lapine's wishes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Moved. With nothing else being on the agenda, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.